Well, howdy, I'm John Mark Dempsey, and every so often we get together with Chris Brown, who is the Executive Director of the Sulphur Springs, Hopkins County Economic Development Corporation. Very important function, obviously, to keep the area humming as far as industry is concerned. Before we really get into this, I have to thank Chris for this. This is incredibly thoughtful of him. Of course, we called these a second cup of coffee conversation, and you said you were where?
I was up in Toronto and ran across that coffee shop.
In Toronto, and saw this, which says Second Cup Cafe, and he brought this to me just out of the thoughtfulness that is Chris Brown. So we are very grateful for that and really appreciate it. Next time we'll share some coffee made out of this, okay?
All right, that sounds great.
Make it a point to do that. Okay, so economic development. Last time we talked about a project that was taking place on Main Street to the west side of town, right?
Yes, sir.
And that time you really couldn't talk much about what it was specifically, but now you can talk more about it.
Now we can talk a little bit more about it. They're under construction. If you drive out there, it's a pretty massive building. A lot of people have been asking about that one. But that is Liberty Trailers, and they're actually an expansion out of Indiana. But they're building a 150,000 square foot facility there. So when you drive by and see it under construction, you do have a lot of questions on that.
What is the size of it again?
About 150,000 square feet.
150,000 square feet.
Yes, sir.
How would that compare with the biggest facilities in Sulphur Springs?
Oh, well, now you put me on the spot. I didn't do my homework.
Would it be among the largest?
It's definitely among the largest. It's a big footprint there. So yeah.
And what, obviously, trailers, so they will build horse trailers? And
really more utility trailers,
okay.
Work trailers, items like that. It's what I learned from them is Northeast Texas is pretty much the Detroit of the trailer industry.
Yep.
And doesn't surprise many people as we think about it, Mount Pleasant, Paris, and here, all the trailer manufacturers we have.
Yep, I was going to say, we just went to Mount Pleasant recently and we're commenting about the trailer industry there. Sir. So, any idea of how many employees they might want to hire?
Looking right around 100 employees when they're fully up and going. It's going to be a pretty impressive system. So it's all automated. The owner was actually down here, hard hat, safety vest, hands dirty, fabricating a lot of the equipment that's going in there. So it's going to be a really impressive process. It's not just a bunch of guys sitting there trying to weld up the trailer. It's going to be on a conveyor going around the full system.
Kind of like an automobile manufacturing
a little
plant,
bit,
somewhat.
Yes.
When will they be ready to start production?
Don't know that yet. Been talking with their general contractor, just getting the final utilities in place. So still a little bit of ways to go, but probably 6 months out or sooner, I would say.
Okay, good. Well, now another thing we talked about briefly last time, it was off in the future, but now it's in the rear view mirror. Here, the early part of October, you had some visitors from Taiwan and Japan who came to town.
We did. We had a bus tour come in. A lot of them were CCIM, which is commercial real estate, same designation we get here in the U.S. A few of them were business owners and really developers looking for opportunity. They came up through Marshall, Kilgore area, came to see us and ended up over in Plano. Just a group that we work with that really helps try to find locations for some of their clients. So it was really a fun time. They had the bus tour. We showed them the coal mine area, brought them into downtown. We were kind of more of a rest stop there. So once we really took them on a tour through the thermal mine, we were able to stop, buy them some ice cream there downtown, and they absolutely loved it. kind of one thing I learned from what they were looking for that community. They were looking for that sense of belonging. So I think we really did hit a home run when we stopped over at First United Methodist Church. The pastor came out, said hello, walked over to downtown there. So they really were impressed by everything we had to offer.
Fantastic. So when you say they are involved in commercial real estate, they're looking for places to where industries might build.
Yes. They're looking industry and commercial development. Of course, we're only going to work with them from the industry side, but then help connect them on any type of commercial opportunities that they're looking for.
When might you know if anything might come from that visit?
So these kind of visits are really all about forming those relationships. It's not going to be, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, they're going to call us up looking for X, Y, and Z. It really is making sure we stay in communication, making sure that they remember Sulphur Springs, that they know they can just turn around, shoot us an email, give us a call, and as they see the opportunities come up, it's making sure we're at the top of their list. When they're looking to come over to the U.S.
Okay.
A lot of things that they're looking for, especially out of Taiwan, is really the manufacturing over here in the U.S., the onshoring, and a little bit of fear with what China may do.
Right.
So things like that, and honestly, we're seeing some of that desire to get into the U.S. even from Canada, and most recently, I'm hearing from Mexico. So it's a lot of opportunities out there, and it's just really making sure that we have the time and ability to form those relationships.
We're out of time, but there's a lot more I'd like to talk to you about, so we'll talk again.
Sounds
soon.
great.
Okay, good.
Appreciate
Chris
it.
Brown is the Executive Director of the Sulphur Springs, Hopkins County Economic Development Corporation. I'm John Mark Dempsey, and this is KSST.